Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Olivia Sandusky. I'm one of the news anchors at NBC Palm Springs, and I get to do some of our special project reporting, which is one of my favorite parts for the job. And when I heard about the 80th anniversary for World War II, decided that that was one of the projects I wanted to dedicate many months to, and so I'm happy you all were able to watch it because I think those stories deserve a big screen audience.
Great.
I'm Philip Large. I'm the director of the Vietnam After the Fire. What else happened? And this is Fred Bell.
Fred Bell.
He's a pivotal piece of Palm Springs Air Museum Productions.
Thank you.
My name is Fred Bell. I'm the vice chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, Philip's minion. And I do want to recognize Danny Ram. Dan, where are you? Dan is here. He's also one of our folks, Joe Mantegna and Dick Shallop. Dick, raise your hand. All those folks are pivotal in our production.
Those are our four producers of the film.
And we have several of the stars of the movie.
We got a bunch of the interviewees. Stand up.
Yeah,
You're
stand
the
up
real
for the
people.
interviewees.
Stand up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being in the movie. So, okay, this is the point that we start asking questions. We get questions from the audience. I'm going to take one of these mics away, and I'm going to go down. Well, actually, I guess I can give you that. I'm going to go in the audience. Does anybody have any questions for these great filmmakers? Well, let me start things off. And I wanted, Olivia, I was curious, how long did that film take to produce? Because it looked like it would have been a long time.
It is a long time, and I'm jealous that you said you have 4 producers on your project, because I am my project's producer and editor and writer and host. So it does take a bit because I am a one-man band. I do have a photographer, so that's very nice. But it does take months because, fortunately, Fred was able to connect me and Anne with the Air Museum with some of the World War II veterans. But I found Bernard Sturgill, who was the first man who heard his story there and his poetry kind of organically through some of my research. A lot of it is just takes time to research, and if you're a video editor or have dabbled in film at all, you know how long that process can be. And for the news, we typically put together minute-long stories, things that can fit in a tight 30-minute newscast, but for me, I get a little bit longer runtime, so 48 minutes takes a bit longer. So this was a months-long work, but we were happy to air it on Veterans Day to honor them.
Great. And where did you get all the footage?
Most of it through the National Archives. We had a good working relationship with them, and a lot of their archival footage is now public use. So that was great, because I think it really helps to put the audience in that moment and watch what was happening. For a lot of us, it's hard to imagine those moments, but when you can watch the archival footage, it becomes more real.
Yeah, actually, there's a little tear in your eye listening to all these people talk. And Phil, how long did your film take?
It was about 7 months long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally flew to each one of the people all over the United States, so that took a lot of time to put together as well.
It was interesting that the speakers, all of those military people, it sounds like a lot of them spend a lot of their time speaking around the world, maybe.
Yeah, any of them that have these really resilient stories are,
Put it closer to you.
and all the people that have these great resilient stories are sought after. They have great messages that they can bring to the public. A lot of them went on, like you saw, to become authors and just great community members as well.
Yeah, those stories, wonderful stories. Anybody can think of any questions they'd like to ask? I'll come running down with the microphone.
Come on, there's gotta be a question or two.
Gotta be a
Right.
question.
I think
Okay,
one thing.
hold on, I'm coming down.
All right, while you're doing that, I think one thing that's interesting about these folks, especially, you have to be very careful because they've been in combat. And there's a lot of challenges there when you're dealing with their stories and how they come back. And you just get a sense of the emotional toll that it took on these folks. And it lingers with them for the rest of their lives.
How many World War II veterans are still docents at the Air Museum? Are there any left?
Less than 10 at this point. When I started 18 years ago, about half the cadre was World War II, and they are dwindling. You know, they have to be anywhere from about 98 or 99 years old on up to give you an idea if they served. And they're very, very, very few. Pete is amazing because you saw in the film, he's just so active and so vibrant, and most of the guys that are running around now are that way, but there are very few left.
How many veterans do we have from Vietnam or World War II? Quite a few. Thank you, all of you, for your service.
Thank you. Welcome home.
Yes, and welcome home. And I'm sure you've got a lot of great stories as well. Any other questions?
More than any questions, I want to say thank you to all of you for doing this, because you preserve a very important part of our history for time and eternity, so people can always know their stories. You are absolutely magnificent, and you deserve wonderful awards. Thank you.
The question is that there a way to see, for the public to see what we just saw today, which was incredible, and especially for the younger people in schools that don't even know.
A question about distribution.
Our film will eventually end up in YouTube, eventually, but it will do a broadcast run here locally in the desert and on PBS KVCR.
Great. Olivia, how about yours?
Our NBC Palm Springs YouTube page houses all of my long form projects, so this one's up there. You can share it with all your friends.
Yeah, that'd be good to send to the schools. I agree with you, that'd be wonderful. Any other questions? There's one back here.
Both of those captured magnificent content in the interviews. I'm curious, how much did you have to edit out to meet your time?
How much did we edit out? Well, I did about an hour interview with 14 veterans. I actually interviewed 18 veterans and 14 made the cut. So you can guess that's somewhere over 14 hours of footage. And then there's probably another 20 hours of B-roll and stock stuff that I had to get through to get to this.
I love that question because sitting down with a lot of World War II veterans who are all about 100 years old, it's hard to interrupt them and cut them off. I want to let them share their full story. So we spent, there's a lot of answers that did not make the special report, but they were great. I mean, they have some amazing stories and they have lived such just fulfilling, amazing lives. So there's a lot of footage that did not. I could probably make an entire other special on things that I didn't put in there.
I think one of the things, the genesis of, we produce our own content. We have actually about 6 or 7 documentaries on our YouTube page that you go out and see that are on different topics. And what came out of that is, you know, Danny Graham, Joe Mantegna, Dick Shala, we produce content for our gala every year, and we would do these veteran interviews for that. And we found out that we were ending up with hours and hours and hours of archival footage that would never be seen. And so that was the genesis of that. The other thing was COVID with Dan and Joe Mantegna in our original first production, our 25th. Those guys came out of they basically, Dan and Joe and Dick and a lot of people just came out of the woodwork and said, how can we help? You know, because we were really challenged, we were locked in during COVID, and we had all this footage, and that was a way to utilize it at that time. And it was brilliant, and we have a brilliant filmmaker, and we were very fortunate that we were able to take a lot of that footage that would never have seen the light of day otherwise.
Thank you, Fred. Olivia, did you do the editing?
I did.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you know definitely what was on the floor. Any other questions from the crowd? One right over here.
A question mostly for Olivia in the younger generation. I think one of the great benefits from the museum is reaching the younger generation, the next generation, and what the museum provides in inspiration for the 17, 16, 18-year-olds in the schools is wonderful, and I try to give as much as I can with the museum as a volunteer. However, you made the comment, and several comments today have been about getting this to the schools. Have you thought in your production process of how the choices that you've made during your production process, or what changes you could make to make these events more relatable to the generations that they only experience this through the history books?
That's a good question. Yeah, and it's tough with long form content because I'm not sure how many 16 or 17-year-olds are watching projects like this versus 10-second videos on their TikTok. It's hard to reach that audience. I think creating something that moves kind of quickly through stories and you can put on a social media platform like YouTube is probably the best way to reach that audience, which is what all of my special projects try to do, because I know as a traditional news broadcaster, I'm probably not reaching a lot of teens and 20-year-olds, but that is a completely, probably untapped market that could benefit from learning about things like this, as we heard so many times today, passing that information on to the next generation. I think this is a start, and connecting with the schools and maybe inviting them or having, I know PSUSD does screenings of certain documentaries and long form things. Maybe something like this would be interesting to them, to have students in one place get a kind of onslaught of history, but outside of that, I'm open to suggestions.
In the case of the Air Museum, we produce tandem study guides with all of our product. And so we do about 7,000 to 10,000 school kids a year. They can get those study guides when they come in. The study guides on the films on YouTube are actually in the description. You can download the study guides for free. So this product will have a companion study guide that will be able to be downloaded free of charge on our YouTube channel. So we go to great lengths to make sure that they can get a hold of that content.
That's a great idea.
Great idea. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you. By the way, at the Air Museum, over the past 25 years, we've interviewed about 1,300 veterans. Probably half of them were World War II. We've got about 50 of them on our YouTube channel, and they're, again, primarily World War II, that we've edited down to like 6 to 10 minutes, adding some footage in like you have done. And so it's real quick to watch, and they're really very good, kind of exciting tribute to these guys. So it's on our YouTube channel, and if you go to there, you'll be able to see those.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you for that information. Appreciate it. Any other questions? One right here.
Hello, Collier staff. I'd like to congratulate you on an outstanding documentary and for having us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna let them clean the theater out for the next show that's coming in a little while. I want to thank Philip, Fred, and Olivia, and thank everybody for showing up today. And remember,
Thank you.
the closing night film is at 6:30 right here. Tickets are still available. We hope to see you there. Thank you.